Hi everyone, how are you? I've been getting a lot of questions about New Zealand's long-term skill shortage list, and a lot of questions about does your job need to be on that list if you want to immigrate to New Zealand or if you want to get a work visa for New Zealand. I'm going to explain that soon, but I'll just quickly start by looking at some of the jobs on the long-term skill shortage list. So this list, it's designed to try and represent the jobs and the industries where there's shortages in New Zealand. I mean, it's just a list. It doesn't always represent the real world exactly, but it does give an idea. So let's have a look what we got on here. So at the very start, we have construction project manager, and a lot of other construction jobs like project builder, project manager, quantity surveyor, and basically every type of engineer, including civil engineer. So if you work in the construction industry, chances are there's some shortage in New Zealand. We'll go down and have a look at, hang on, okay, so medical jobs. There's also obviously a massive shortage of medical jobs in New Zealand, such as a radiologist, GP, which is just a general practitioner, which is like a general doctor, which does just the basic stuff. Medical radiation therapist, medical laboratory scientist, and any sort of jobs related to the health industry. And the big one is registered nurse in aged care. So one of the most common jobs that migrants get residence in New Zealand is as working as a registered nurse in aged care, because let's be honest, there's a lot of old people in New Zealand and there's just not enough nurses to look after them. And a few other jobs and IT, so pretty much any IT job, there's a shortage in New Zealand. I mean, it's got any job related to IT, it's got pretty much everything on there. Keep going down. We got chef. That's another big one. A lot of people get jobs as chefs in New Zealand. What else do we have? And we've got a few trades on here like automotive electrician, diesel motor mechanic, electrician, and electric line mechanic. So I just want to say that this list is just a guide. If your job is not on this list, don't worry. Because if you want to get a work visa for New Zealand, or even if you want to immigrate to New Zealand, your job does not need to be on this list. There's a common misconception and confusion that your job has to be on a long skill shortage list to be able to get a work visa or to immigrate to New Zealand. That's wrong. All this list does is give a guide about the kind of jobs that there are shortages in New Zealand. But for a lot of people, this list isn't really that important. What's a lot more important is your ANZCO job code, which I'll explain in my next video, and also your pay rate's very important, your work experience and your qualifications. That stuff's a lot more important than if your job's on this list, because it absolutely does not have to be on a long-term skill shortage list.